Hello and welcome to Books of Blood. My name is John. So I made this video once already and I actually got to the end of it, got it over to the computer and started working on editing it, which means basically that I put the intro and the little cut between the intro and the transition and all that. And I'm watching it because I have to watch it because I have to be able to know where to add in the pictures of the books that I talk about, unless of course I just hold up the paperback or the hardcover, and I'm watching and I'm thinking to myself, man, this sucks. I just thought it was a horrible video. I wasn't satisfied with it. So I'm hoping that this time will be a little bit better. But today what I want to talk about is 5 werewolf novels that I haven't read yet, but I definitely want to, as you can see from the title of the video. So I'm going to go ahead and just jump right into it. So the first one I want to talk about is The Werewolf of Paris. And this is by Guy Endore. Now this was published in 1933. It was the loose basis for the movie The Curse of the Werewolf, starring Oliver Reed from, I'm trying to remember the exact year. I want to say 1960, but that doesn't sound right. I may be totally wrong about that. Actually, might have been, yeah, it might have been 1960, but I don't think it was. Anyway, and I'll read the synopsis here for it. The werewolf is one of the great iconic figures of horror in folklore, legend, film, and literature, and connoisseurs of horror fiction know that The Werewolf of Paris is a cornerstone work, a masterpiece of the genre that deservedly ranks with Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, Bram Stoker's Dracula, and Robert Louis Stevenson's The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Endore's classic novel has not only withstood the test of time since it was first published in 1933, but it boldly used and portrayed elements of sexual compulsion in ways that had never been seen before, at least not in horror literature. Endore's werewolf, an outcast named Bertrand Karle, travels across pre-revolutionary France, seeking to calm the beast within. Stunning in its sexual frankness and eerie, fog-enshrouded visions, this novel was decidedly influential for the generations of horror and science fiction authors who came afterward. And that is The Werewolf of Paris, and that is by Guy Endore. All right. Okay. All right. So now this next one, I'm going to talk about the first book, but there are 3 books in the series, and I've got a link to all the books, excuse me, including the book, all the books that I talk about here on the channel, in this video, excuse me. I've got links to them in the description, so I'll leave links for the other 2 books in this series. Anyway, I'm talking about The Turning, and this is by Micky Neilson. A voyage into horror. Years ago, Brandon Fry was bitten, cursed to transform into a primal killing machine under the light of the full moon, until he met Celine, who introduced him to experimental pills meant to suppress the turning. Now, after a terrible tragedy has taken Celine's life, Brandon boards a cruise ship bound for Alaska, intending to venture into the cold white north and never return. But when Brandon meets Jenny, he gains a second chance at love. And nevertheless, circumstances align against him. A storm is building, a hunter is on his trail, and the pills that are meant to prevent the turning are about to trigger it. So that's the first book in the Turning series. I can't, like I said, I can't remember what I think the second one is like White Waking or Waking, something like that. I don't remember, and I don't think that was the actual title because that sounds a little bit too, I don't know, too racist. I don't know. It's just that I can't remember the exact name of it, but it'll be in the description. So, all right. And also that the premise for that, and there's supposed to be like a it shows a cruise ship on the cover. You know, and it says something about 4,000 lives and something like that. I don't know. You saw the cover on there. But it kind of reminds me of an old episode of The Night Stalker, where Karle Kolchak is on board a cruise ship, and there's a werewolf on the cruise ship. I think that was my favorite episode of the show because I love werewolves so much, you know. All right, next up, number 3, we have got Walking Wolf. This is a weird Western by Nancy A. Collins, and there's a helicopter going overhead. I hope you guys can't hear it too badly. The Bram Stoker Award-winning author of Sunglasses After Dark chronicles the life of a werewolf who becomes part of the human and inhuman history of the Old West. More than 150 years old, Billy Skillet looks back on his life existing between Native Americans and white men on the frontiers of a growing America, always on the edges of reality and unreality. Born of a werewolf father and human mother from the old country, Billy is the only member of his family who survives a vicious attack. Found alive in the rubble of their homestead by a Comanche, Billy is taken in by the tribe. From there he finds that, as a skinwalker, he is revered by the Native Americans, though reviled by the white man. Battling powerful instincts and his own moral code, Billy embarks on his life's never-ending journey, first learning the ways of the settlers at the hands of a brutal and drunken reverend, then with a charismatic con man peddling elixirs in a traveling show. He survives a lynching, becomes the manservant of a vampire, and battles one of his own kind, a beast consumed by evil ambition. He sees the rise and fall of legends, the births of his own children and the deaths of his loved ones. And never far behind, Billy's nemesis, a bounty hunter known as Witchfinder Jones, who, even now, may still be out there, willing to go to the ends of the earth to destroy him. And that is Walking Wolf, a weird Western. It's by Nancy Collins. Okay. Alright, next up we've got Near the Bone. It's by Christina Henry. And the cover I'm showing you there is not the same cover that I've got. Mine is just like this kind of far away, like a mountain peak or whatever. And it just doesn't look anywhere near as cool as that cover that I've got up on the screen right now. That's a pretty awesome cover. I wish I had that cover. A woman trapped on a mountain attempts to survive more than one kind of monster in a dread-inducing horror novel from the national best-selling author Christina Henry. Maddie can't remember a time before she and William lived alone on a mountain together. She must never make him upset. But when Maddie discovers the mutilated body of a fox in the woods, she realizes that they're not alone after all. There's something in the woods that wasn't there before, something that makes strange cries in the night, something with sharp teeth and claws. When 3 strangers appear on the mountaintop looking for the creature in the woods, Maddie knows their presence will anger William. Terrible things happen when William is angry. And that's Near the Bone. By Christina Henry. Okay, last but not least, we've got Invasive Species, and it's by Carl Johnson. A monster has come to Maldas, Arkansas, and the residents of the small mountain town are too busy to notice. With the monster comes something even more terrifying and threatening than gnashing teeth or razor-sharp claws. The monster has brought change. The residents of the small mountain town are too busy to notice at first, busy with things such as addiction, racism, work, or land deals. Unnoticed, the change the monster brings in its insidious wake spreads like wildfire. Unnoticed, the town of Maldas falls prey to an invasive species. And that is Invasive Species, and that's by Carl Johnson. So that is 5 werewolf novels that I haven't read yet, but definitely want to. I've got all of these books either on my Kindle or I've got paperback or hardcover copies of them. So until next time, Usually I say take care and that sounds like I'm saying Karen. Take Karen. Somebody take Karen. I don't know. Um, take care and stay scared and beware the moon. All right. Thanks. Bye bye.